Well, do you see that my camera has the shakes? Well, it does have the shakes, and I don't quite understand why. Maybe because I dropped it? Could that have something to do with it? It probably does. Well, I'm making some masks today, just because it was on my list of things to do for quite some time, and I decided, well, today is as good a day as any to make some masks. And I thought I would make masks using product placement items here. So these Target bags. Target is where I go shopping, and I was reminded of why I find it of value when I ended up going to a very fancy, what are they called? Grocery stores the other day, because the grocery store that I went to had like 5 million different kinds of peanut butter. Now, I don't mind having 4 kinds of peanut butter. You know, you can have Chunky and Jif and what do you call it? Skippy. But when you start having brands you've never heard of with things like gluten-free or heaped with gluten or whatever the varieties are, my eyes glaze over. These are supposed to be eyes, and that's a smile. My eyes glaze over, and then I start thinking, am I even capable of making an informed decision based on now the choices that I have? Simple, small choices were easy, but complicated choices became more than I could bear. So, why am I telling you this? I have no idea why I'm even starting. Anyway, my idea was to come up with interesting masks using Target bags and using the Target logo and the Target color and the things as a starting point for my designs. And then I thought what I would do is get a group of my neighbors who don't like admitting that they shop at Target, but in fact I see them there quite often. And maybe they would go there more often if they wore masks. Anyway, I thought maybe if we all went there wearing masks one day and did our shopping, that might make for a interesting social media event, and we might find ourselves in the rotogravure. And yes, I know, for those of you that are old enough to know what that is, you're going to say, why did he say that? Because no one else will know what it is. Well, I'm not talking to everyone. I'm talking to you. You who know what that is. So we're going to be in our Easter bonnets with all the fringe upon it. And we'll be in the rotogravure. So anyway, I'm making faces using these designs. And why not? They are here to be used. Well, I'm using them. Whether they're here to be used or not, I don't know, but I'm using them. And I still haven't remembered what I was going to tell you about. My camera, though, as you can see, is just shaking like a leaf in late autumn with a heavy breeze. And it's not supposed to do that, but because I ended up flinging my camera across the, what do you call it, room, and it landed on the floor and broke the glass. It could have broken the internal gyroscope as well. But the weird thing about it is there are certain elements of the camera that work fine when I'm using a certain app, and other elements, and sometimes they don't work when I'm using the iPhone product. So I don't understand it. So these are supposed to be eyebrows, and these are supposed to be eyes, and there's a nose, and there's a mouth. So what do we think about that idea? Yeah, I don't know what I think of it either, but there you have it. Whether you like it or not. Let's see, what else can I do here? So anyway, my plan was making these masks and getting a group of us to all go into Target together, and I would warn Target that we were coming so they wouldn't think we were some sort of terrorist shopping spree. But we are here as an art piece, and so we'll see if that happens or not. I guess you can see what I'm doing here. I can let you see what I'm doing here. That's what I meant to say. I gave a party here the other night, and it was quite fun. This is supposed to be hair. It was quite fun, and it makes me want to give a party another time. I had nearly 40 homosexual men in my house. Scandal. Now, we're all part of a group called the Radical Fairies, and it was fun being radical. Okay, now how can I make this work better? I don't think I can. I think it's almost perfect for this one. Some of them I want to use marker on, or pen and ink, and see how I can do that. So, but anyway, here's the mask that someone can wear. I can cut a little eye, I don't know where the actual eyes will be, probably down here somewhere, so that the person who's wearing this isn't going to be accidentally walking into the shampoo aisle when they're trying to find cat food. Okay, one down. I thought that this would make sort of neat hair, wavy hair, if I glue it so it undulates rather than is in a circle. So it goes like this. This camera is driving me crazy, as I'm sure it is you driving you crazy. Come on, Pierre. How does this work? I have all these clever ideas, and then what happens? The ideas end up not being as clever as in my mind, they are so clever that you can't possibly stand it. and then in reality they turn into mush. Anyway, I said to myself today, I need to do something to make me smile. Prozac, as you know, those of you that watch my channel, you know that I'm on antidepressants because I'm a depressed person. Wouldn't know that, thinking that I just have fun all day long, but I don't. I mean, I try to, but I don't. And so this could be a Cyclops. That could be, and when I'm making things, when I'm doing things like this, I generally am a happier person than when I'm not playing with glue. And now you may be wondering what I'm doing by gluing that piece right there. Well, I'll tell you. I really honestly don't know what I'm doing when I'm gluing a piece right there. I have to start it somehow, and whether it's a success or not will be determined after the glue dries. Sometimes you can't always tell in advance whether something's a good idea. So what I'm doing is just moving some stuff around here, and I've got a fancy tool that I can use to add a certain something to these, which I will show you in a second. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm randomly sort of gluing these things together, and I am coming up with, eventually, this will be part of a mask. Now, I don't know what part this is going to be. This may just be later cut up into smaller pieces and then done something else with, but I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Okay, I have to look at this one again. See, this one looks like a face. If I posted that on my Facebook account, the algorithm for trying to figure out who that is will cause all of Facebook to deteriorate, I suppose. Artist in Somerville destroys Facebook framework by posting a picture of a face. All of Mark Zuckerberg's personalized computer system has exploded in a fireball, because it was unable. I don't know where this one's going. This one is befuddling me. Let me get my fancy tool. Here's my fancy tool. I'll show you how it works. It suddenly made it corrugated. Isn't that clever? Textural. I thought it would make it a little bit more zigzaggy than that, but it's fine. It's not helping with the inspiration though. Okay, well there's one eye, here's another eye. Okay, and then I'll just I'm making eyelashes here. So you want to know more about this gay party? I can hear you asking all these questions. Sure, I'll tell you. So it's a group of people, and we meet every Wednesday for potluck. And if your mind goes into some sort of gutter and imagines all sorts of things happening between consenting adults, your mind can do that. I don't care. But I know what actually happened. In reality, I know what happened in this room. There's a lot of laughing and a lot of fun. Fun conversations, talking about what people do for a living and what they do for fun, and people enjoyed seeing my collections of stuff. So here we have two eyes. I don't know how this is going to work. Maybe what I have to do is do that. By doing this way, see now I've made it have two sides. So maybe that was the trick. And now this is the center of the head. Maybe that was what was needed. The axis of evil axis. Sometimes, as you can see, well, maybe you can't see, as you are now realizing, sometimes I don't have an idea of what I'm doing. And other times I do have an idea of what I'm doing. This is one of those times when I don't have an idea of what I'm doing. And I'm just gluing things together, and I'm throwing things against the refrigerator, and if it sticks, no, how does that work? It's throwing pasta, and if it sticks to the refrigerator, it's done. I don't know. But, so what I'm doing anyway is just, it's not entirely random, but it might look random. I'm putting things together in particular ways, and it might turn into something. Chances are, though, I will not know until it's finished. And maybe it needs just a little tiny bit of something like this. Just that little bit of a cowlick to add sort of three-dimensionality to it. So we've got two eyes. Maybe it just needs a mouth. Maybe this is the mouth right here. See? Right there, that's the mouth. So this is the nose. Eyes and nose, and then the mouth is coming down. We're using our knowledge of origami and paper folding and mathematics to come up with a way to glue this down here, and this will be underneath and behind. This is things that maybe they're not teaching in school today, because it involves actually having to use your hands, all of the fingers that Darwin gave you, not just your thumbs to text. You have to use all of your fingers in unison in some sort of way. There you go. See, there's a face, eyes, and a mouth. Now, when I'm done with these things, because they are relatively fragile, I may have to do things like come back later with a heavier piece of cardboard and glue it onto something that's more sturdy so that it will retain the shape. But I think that would be easier than to do that in advance. It's sort of fun to crinkle this paper, and I don't think I would be able to crinkle it and bend it and glue it if I had to have it on a more stiff backing. There's more Target at Target.com. Product placement. Now I was going to put this somewhere. Was this where it was going to go? I think it was going to go right there. Nah, it wasn't going to go there. Well, it was, but it's not going there now. It's going to go up there. Right there, a little bit. See, with these bags are interesting because, you know, the dots can be wanna-be eyes automatically, or they could be a mouth, they could be nostrils, they could be anything that has a hole in it. And these things, this part, this could be an ear, this could be a mouth, you know, this could be a cyclops with his mouth open. Or this could be, in an alternate universe, this is a cyclops named Van Gogh, and he cut one of his ears off, you see. But anyway, I've got 2 down. I said I was going to make 3. That was on my list of things to do today. And none of these are finished, but I'm thinking that if I can just do a little bit, just little baby steps, that I would be okay. So let's try another one. Here we go. Ear, eye, ear. Ear, eye, ear. Ear, eye, ear. This is a very wide mask. Oh, my house was so clean yesterday, and now it's really messy because the paper that I'm cutting up, all these little pieces that I'm cutting off of these things, is all ending up on the floor. And when do you think I'm going to clean it? If the answer is never, that's pretty darn close. No, I tend to be kind of a slob. Okay. So is that okay for, there, we'll do it this way. Sometimes I make masks that you can wear right side up or upside down, and the eyes are sort of where the eyes would be, but the thing that was a nose becomes a mouth, and I allow for that sort of activity to happen. Okay, are you going to stick or what? So I think the two eyes are here. There'll be some sort of nose-mouth thing going on there. I think that's how it's going to go. This is just Elmer's glue that I'm using, and I have a feeling that it's not as sticky as it could be. Probably. Okay, I just opened this up. God bless. Is this like self-closing for children or something? Well, I'm not a child. My boyfriend used to say, no, you're not a child. You're worse than a child. Which is probably true. Okay, let's see here. Now, this could work. I'm not gonna glue that. I might, in this little pocket there, I may end up putting some stiffer cardboard to hold it tight. So I'm not gonna glue that yet. Just by gluing it would make it tighter, of course, but I'm not going to do that. Not yet. Well, it's been nearly a half an hour of you watching me play with glue and scissors and Target bags, and I think that's probably enough for the moment. So I'll keep working on these without recording it and see if they turn into anything else. Bye. Stop shaking, camera.